Hey guys, what's up? This is Daniel Pinheiro from danielpm1982.com, and in this video I'd like to show you how I record my screen using my NVIDIA RTX 2060 video card along with OBS software, Audacity and Kdenlive. OBS is a screen capture or a video capture. You set here the source. In this case, the source is the screen capture source, but you can add other sources, for example, any of these ones. But in my case, as I'm capturing the whole screen, I'm using the screen capture access HM source. And as soon as you add the source here, in this window you have a real-time preview of what's been recording, but you can minimize the software and work only with the top bar icon menu. So if you press here, you can start the recording or stop the recording. In my case, I'm already recording this video, that's why it doesn't appear the start recording. But if I were not recording at the moment, instead of stop recording, it would appear the start recording. You can also set some shortcuts for starting recording and stopping recording from your keyboard. So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro. My domain is danielpm1982.com. You can have more information about me there, as well as my Udemy courses and some mini tutorials about the programs I use. So for this video is about screen recording or screen capture, and I'll just write down here the specifications of the hardware and software that we're gonna use. So my computer is a Helios 300 Predator PH315-52, and this model comes up with an NVIDIA graphic card RTX 2060. Regarding the software, I'm using as an operating system Linux Ubuntu version 20.04, and the three softwares we're gonna show you how to configure and how to use are gonna be the OBS Studio. The OBS is for the screen capture itself. Also, we're gonna use Audacity for audio noise filtering and for some other audio edition. And for video edition, we're gonna use Kdenlive. These are all open source softwares. You don't have to pay for anything, and you can download, as long as you have Linux installed, you can download from the store. You just type OBS, for example. Here you have OBS, free and open source software for live streaming and screen recording. This is an unofficial build, but a very stable and complete one. I haven't found any issues yet when using it on Linux. Just an observation here. I have in this machine both Windows and Linux installed as a dual boot, and I tried to use OBS in Windows and it simply doesn't work there. So in case you want to use Windows for screen capture, you gotta find another program, because OBS, at least in my machine, in this Predator model, it doesn't recognize neither of the video cards. But in Linux it works pretty nice, so I advise you to use Linux instead. So this is the OBS Studio for video capturing, and the other software we're gonna use, it's also available freely at the store. It's the well-known Audacity audio editor. And the third software we're gonna use is the best video editor I've found so far, which is Kdenlive. Also free and very stable, at least this last version of it. So choose the last versions of them and you have no issues, at least in this same Acer notebook model. So now, after this introduction about myself, about the hardware I'm using, the operating system, and the three softwares we're gonna use, and how to get them, let's start by stopping this video recording and starting a new video recording for showing you how to edit this first video. But first, let me show you at the OBS Studio the configuration I'm using for the video capture that we're gonna create during this tutorial. So if you go here at settings, down here on the right, you have some general settings. You don't have to change anything on that. You have the stream settings in case you want to make some streaming. We're not doing it. And you have the output, both for the streaming as for the recording. What we are doing is a recording, so go to the recording. First, you may set the output model as advanced for having more options here to select. And in my case, these fields are inactive because I'm actually doing a recording at the moment. But if you're not recording, these fields will be active and you'll be able to select whatever you want. The output mode, you select the advanced, and here right below at this recording tab, you select that. You can set the recording path. I've set to my home videos, so all the captures will be saved at that folder. Also, the recording format, I'm using the MKV. You can set the number of audio tracks you want. And here, very importantly, the encoder. As I have an NVIDIA RTX 2060, I'm gonna make use of it. So the encoder based on hardware will be the NVIDIA NVENC H.264. If we were capturing the video in 4K instead of the H.264, we should either choose H.265 or the VP9, because for ultra high definition videos, mainly because of the size of the bit rate that's generated, it has been developed these two more advanced compression formats that are able to compress around 50% compared to H.264 or VP8. Here, there's the rescale output. You don't have to use that. My screen is 1K, is a full HD, 144 Hz, and I have not yet discovered how to make the capture in 4K resolution. There might be a way, because when you're playing, you can record the game in a 4K resolution using the NVIDIA screen recorder. But outside the game, you can't use NVIDIA screen recorder. That's why I'm using the OBS. In OBS, I actually don't know how to capture the video into 4K when the screen is actually 1K. So I'll leave it as 1K resolution. And here at the rate control, the best setting is always the lossless. I'm using the lossless here. Lossless, as the name suggests, means no loss on the quality of the video you are capturing. The presets and the profile I'm setting as max quality and as high. And here at the output section, that's it. So here at the audio, you don't have to set anything. You can keep the default settings. But here at the video, just check it out if the FPS value is 60. So it's much better to record in a 60 frames per second to give a more smooth recording. So here are the hotkeys. You can set any shortcuts you want. For example, I've set the start and the stop using the combination Alt plus S. And now I'm gonna set the pause and the unpause using the combination Alt plus P. Apply. Here at the advanced session, we also just leave the defaults as such. That's it. Then when you set these project settings, you just click start recording here at the software interface, or you minimize and use the top bar icon menu for start recording or stop recording. So I stop this video right now and start a second video. And this first video we're gonna take the audio, edit it, and then join together using Kdenlive, and later I'll upload the result of this first video and also of the second video I'll be recording right next. Okay, I'm back now with a second recording, and now I'll show you the first video we've just captured using OBS. So these are the properties for the first video we've just recorded with OBS using the properties we've set customly at the OBS settings. As you can see, the video type is Matroska video or MKV. It's almost 1 GB for now. It will be much smaller after we finish the third step, but for now we're using this output from OBS as it is. So if you click here at the audio video tab, here is the length, 27 minutes. Here is the video resolution, 1K 1920 per 1080 pixels. Here is the codec we've used. We set at the OBS properties the NVIDIA NVENC H.264 video encoder, and the frame rate that we also set there is 60 frames per second. And the audio is the best we can have with no compressions at all. So these are the properties for this first video, and now let's edit its audio for adjusting the audio levels as well as to take out any noise, for example the noise of the fan I'm using right beside me. Okay, so now that we've recorded the screen video and checked its properties according to what we've set at the OBS settings, now let's go to the second step, which is the audio edition of this first video we've just recorded. So open up Audacity. Let's just check the configurations. I guess there's nothing here to be set. We are not capturing any audio with it. We will just edit some previously recorded audio. So open the MKV first video we've just recorded. It's this one. And as you see, this is the whole audio for the first video we've recorded with OBS. And as you see, when I don't speak, there's some background noise here. So for eliminating this noise from the whole audio of the video, you just have to select some portion of it where you can see there's no voice recording, only the background noise itself. And you go to the menu, Effect, Noise Reduction, Get Noise Profile. So through this Get Noise Profile, it will get this portion of noise and automatically set some reduction parameters. And now you press Ctrl A for selecting the whole file, and you choose Effect, Repeat Noise Reduction, now for the whole file audio. So it will use those parameters it got from that audio sample to reduce the same noise from the whole file. So just go to Effect and Repeat Noise Reduction. So now it's applying for the whole file the noise reduction that it has calculated for this small portion that we selected as a sample. If the noise is not that much, you see that only one procedure is enough. But in case you still have any noise remaining, you can just repeat the process, always selecting a new sample and choosing another calculation of new parameters for that remaining noise profile. If you only repeat the noise reduction, it will reduce too much. So you always have to get a new sample and recalculate the parameters and then apply again to the whole file by selecting Effect, Repeat Noise Reduction. In the case of this first video, we would not need to do that because it has already eliminated most of the noise in the first process, but just for showing you how to repeat the process in case you have some substantial remaining of any noise you have in any video you want to edit. So now it's okay. If you want to increase the audio level, there's another effect. First you select the whole file as we did, and there's another effect. You can do it here at Audacity, or you can do that in Kdenlive, but as we are already here, I'm using this effect Amplify. Here you set the amplification intensity. I'll just intensify to 7. You gotta set all clipping as selected and press OK. In case you get a too loud sound, you can go back, Ctrl Z, and select another amplification decibels to a better level. So I'll set the amplification as 8. Here, as you see, there's no noise remaining. It's all flat. Let's just test. I'll just play a random part of the audio beginning right now.
So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro. My domain is daniel.com. You can have more information about me there.
As well as... Okay, I'll stop now. And as you can see, it's still too low. I had to record in a lower mode so that I didn't produce a too much ambient noise, and it's better for you to record low, and then after you eliminate the noise you can amplify as much as you want. So I'll amplify for this default calculated level here, 3.3 now. Okay, I guess now it will be more in a standard level. Let's see it.
So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro. My domain is daniel.com.
It's still too low, so I'll select all again and try a 5 amplification. Let's test it now.
So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro. My domain is daniel.com.
I guess it's still too low because I'm using the volume as 100% here, and I guess it's still too low, so I'll amplify more, 5 decibels. I guess now it will be better.
So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro.
As you see, when we amplify the whole audio, we also review some remaining noise. So you gotta repeat the noise reduction process again. Effect noise reduction for this new sample here. Get noise profile, Ctrl A. Effect repeat noise reduction. Okay, now we've eliminated again the remaining noise, and the audio is
already amplified. So just to be clear, my name is Daniel Pinheiro.
Let's test another part of it.
Just an observation here. I have in this machine both Windows and Linux installed as a dual boot, and I try to use OBS.
Okay, that's fine for 100 system volume level, and at the end of this second step, we just export the audio to an independent WAV file. I'll put it at the same video folder. I'll leave this default name as it is. Save. Okay. And then we're gonna use this edited audio to replace the original audio at the video in this next third step. So this second step is finished. Close Audacity. Don't have to save the project. And now let's go to the third step, which is to join this new audio to the original video. And for that you gotta open Kdenlive. By default, I've set the new project as 4K, but if you wanna change that, you can set at the new project, or you can set at settings, configure Kdenlive, project default, and here you have all the options. By default, Kdenlive comes with the full HD resolution for new projects, and if you want 4K resolution project videos, you gotta change to the 4K up here, always keeping 60 frames per second because it's very important for the video quality, especially for programming videos. So in my case, it's already set as the default, so I'll cancel it here. If you change it there, you gotta set a new project, but in my case, as the 4K resolution was already the default, I don't have to create any new project. I will use this one. And next we're gonna add both the original video. This is the first video we recorded with OBS, so let's import it. Let's put it here. You have the video and the audio combined or grouped together. You can ungroup the clips so that you can delete the original audio that we are changing for the new edited audio that we created using Audacity. So now let's import the new audio. It's this WAV file here, and then we bring this audio matching exactly the same time of the original video. You can put the audio in a different position. You gotta be sure to keep both the video and the audio matching the same times here, and then using Shift you select both the video and audio again to group them together. So now we have the original video and we have the new audio from Audacity that we have already edited as we wanted for this video. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to edit this first video combined with this new audio. For example, for eliminating the spaces, for eliminating, you have to cut using the razor tool. For example, here you can cut, and then you select the selection tool and just mark the cut part you wanna delete, and then you join together the useful pieces of video and audio. So what I'm gonna do now is to edit this whole video. So this is the whole video, first video, and I'm gonna edit and take out all the errors and empty spaces of it. And also I'm gonna stop the second video that I'm recording right now to follow the same 3-step process and put it right next to this first video to make up the final video that we're gonna render. So after I do that, I'll start a third video for showing you the rendering process and the configurations we'll be using when rendering all these 3 videos all together. See you in a moment. Okay, so now we've completed the 3 steps of the process. First, we captured the video, then we edited the audio, filtering the noises and amplifying a little bit, and on the third step we edited at Kdenlive. Let's open it here, and I've already finished correcting all the empty spaces and wrong parts of the recordings. And I've already joined together the two videos here, as you can see. This is the whole time frame, the whole set of frames from our first and from our second videos. And as I can't render this third current video that I'm recording right now for showing you this part of the lecture, as you see, I'm recording here right now, and I can't render a video that I'm recording at the current moment. I'll just render these two videos, and then I'll stop this third video and join it with the rendered result of these other two, so that we can get a final lecture video and upload that for you to be seen at this very moment. So for rendering these two videos that I've already edited all the frames correctly and eliminated all errors and all empty spaces, you just have to press render. And now, very important, take care with the configurations you're gonna use. Please select here more options at this window, so you can have all the options to be selected. So these are all the pre-rendering configurations that we gotta set before we proceed here with the render process. And before we set the file name and the Destiny folder, let's first set the type or the format of the file that we're gonna set as the output by selecting, in our case, the Webm VP9 at the ultra high definition 4K session here. You could also set the MP4. H.265 is the successor of H.264, as well as VP9 is the successor of VP8. And both these two new generation codecs are suitable for 4K videos, compressing 50% more without losing any quality compared to their predecessors. And also, another advantage of these two codecs, both H.265 and VP9, is that when rendering fast movement images, they can minimize the square pixels that are generated, especially from these type of images. So select the VP9, Webm VP9. Webm is the container, VP9 is the codec. And now let's select the output file and folder. Let's go back to home, videos, the name, I'll set this one. The extension is the Webm extension. Save. Okay, now we set the output file and the folder. We've set the format of the file according to the container and the encoder, in our case VP9, Webm VP9. Regarding the quality, you can set the best quality possible here. And in the case of this codec, as if you consult the documentation, both for VP9 as for H.265, the less the number here, the best quality you'll have for the video. So when you select prioritizing the video quality, you set the lowest possible number here, which by default is 15, as well as the maximum audio number here, which is 7, but it actually isn't the bit rate. As we will see at the end, the bit rate will end up around 200 and something kilobits per second, but by default this codec has this schedule with the maximum value for the audio quality of 7. So we are setting the minimum value for the video, because the less the number, the greater the video quality here, for both these high definition encoders. And for the audio, we are setting the maximum number, because in this case it's directly proportional to the quality of the audio. We are rendering all the project, so keep the full project here selected. Keep the parallel processing selected so that we can use all the core processing threads that our processor has. In my case, it's a Core i7 of the 9th generation, which has 6 physical cores, but 12 threads of processing, 2 threads per core. So the processing will be distributed to all those 12 processing threads at my Core i7 processor. And for that you have to keep this parallel processing selected. And I guess that's all we had to set. We're not rescaling for any other different resolution, because we wanna have a 4K resolution video, although our original video was 1K. If you were using a 4K screen, then OBS would be able to capture in 4K, but what I don't know if it's possible is to use OBS to capture the 4K resolution when using 1K resolution screens as mine. That's one thing that I gotta search for, but let's keep the maximum resolution here for our final video output, and that's it. Now the final thing here is to start rendering, and for that you just have to click render to file. It will take some time, and I'll increase the video speed when I edit this third and last video. And this is the most resource consuming part of the process, because now Kdenlive will have to really process all these frames and additions that we've made in order to produce the final video output. And I repeat, to that final output I will still render once more to add this third current video that I'm recording right now. So I see you in a moment. Hello guys, welcome back to this fourth and final video for this mini tutorial about how you capture your screen, edit its audio, taking out all the ambient noise or any other audio addition you want, and also edit the video and use any available effect from Kdenlive you wanna use. So this is the whole video I've already rendered, and that I'm gonna show you the result on this fourth and last video. As you can see, you have here all the frames in audio for the combination of all three last videos, all edited for taking out the errors and for eliminating the spaces, and I've also used some minor transitions or effects on it. But before I show you the results for this rendering and the file properties, let me just correct something that I missed to tell you on the last video, which is that Kdenlive software doesn't use multi-threading automatically, even if you set here the parallel processing. you still have to set the number of threads here to the maximum logical threads of your processor. In my case, as I'm using a Core i7 of 9th generation, I have 12 logical threads for the 6 physical cores that my processor has. So if I want Kdenlive to use all the threads of the processor, I have to set this number here to 12, and I also can increase the encoder in speed here to get a more faster processing. So the first time I tried to render it without setting these settings here, I observed that the Kdenlive software only used one of the 12 threads, so it would take 8 hours to process the 40 minutes video that I was rendering. So I stopped and cancelled that first rendering. Then I set this thread number to the maximum and also increased the encoder speed, and the rendering time on the second time I tried decreased from 8 hours to only 3 hours, using the best quality for the encoding and the maximum processor capacity and efficiency possible. So my mistake was to tell you to leave these settings as default, because if you want to use the maximum from your processor, you gotta set here the number of threads you want to use from it, and also increase the encoder speed here for reducing a lot the time that you're gonna wait until you have the final rendered result. So having said that, let me now go to the rendering file result, and here it is. Let's just check the properties. So here you have the file type, a Webm video type, and at the audio video tab you have here the duration for the combined 3 first videos, which make up 38 minutes. Here you have the container, which is the Webm container, and for the video we have a 4K resolution. Remember that with OBS we captured the video with 1K resolution, but on the Kdenlive settings of the project that we wanted to edit and render, we set the video resolution to 4K. So this final rendered file is a 4K resolution video encoded with VP9 codec. This is one of the codecs for the Webm container. If you look at the documentation for Webm, you see that we have VP8 and VP9. VP8 is less demanding, but if you have a good machine, as you should use VP9 for better quality. And here we have the 60 frames per second, as we've been setting since the capturing of the video from OBS and also at the addition with Kdenlive. So here also, very importantly, the audio characteristics. One of the audio codecs that Webm container uses is Vorbis. For the channels we have used since the beginning a stereo profile. The sample rate is 48k Hertz, and here, if you see, we have a result bit rate for this project of 224 kilobits per second, which is pretty nice. And maybe if you check the documentations and if you set in a lower level the settings for the codec, you maybe could reach 320 kilobits per second, but I have not yet tried that because I'm using only the default configurations for those containers and codecs so far. So that's it for our tutorial. I hope you liked it, and if you have any suggestions or any observations to add, be free to send me an email. This is my email. Or you can comment on whatever platform this video is published, so that others can have some additional views and understandings of this huge graphic processing subject. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next videos.